Welcome to Brooklyn. We're here at Blue Smoke, a black-owned cigar shop. We speak with Ms. Gloria Blake, one of the owners here, about really if the NFL is ever going to understand this chant, if Colin Kaepernick's ever going to get a job again, and really what the future of the NFL is going to look like if black consumers feel alienated from the sport that they love so much.
First and foremost, we made a decision because we needed to create a space and an experience for those people that had already made a decision to protest. We joined in on the protest because we felt that it was important as a community, important as an athlete to be able to activate his right to take a stand on something that he believes. At the end of the day, this gentleman didn't commit a crime. He made a decision that he wanted to take a stand on something that we all morally think is the right thing to do. So the catalyst was already in action. For us, our decision to support was because we know that when you're in a situation and you want to stop doing something, you need to start doing something else.
What does your spot or even your customers hope to achieve by doing this?
To bring awareness to the right to be able to be protected, to decide to take a stand and do the right thing, number one. Number two, to create a safe space where we can have critical thinking, conversations about what we believe, what we stand for, and it being an environment that's conducive for all people.
How important was it for you to kind of respond to what your customers were asking for, this being a lounge and a member kind of place? A lot of people were saying they wanted to do something like this or wanted to be a part of this. How did you take their concerns and mold it into this?
I mean, I think it goes back to the vision of our business, because our business was very centered on creating community. How do we actively participate in that? Can we turn a deaf ear? Can we say that, oh, it's not that important to us, or it's more important to us to do business and say, nah, it's football season, we can't afford to take the risk? I don't think I'm wired that way.
What's going to happen maybe tonight, or what's going to happen maybe across the season, and what are you guys going to do to, fill the void of not playing football games?
Well, first and foremost, tonight's going to be a roundtable discourse. It's a conversation, an opportunity for us to not only hear our members, but open the floor up to just open discussion.
Doing that, one of the things we realized was that we all sort of had a different reason that brought us to the table. And we thought it would be really interesting to have a really honest and frank discussion about where we're coming to the boycott from. Like, what is our entry point to the ban? So the discussion is essentially titled Different Faces of the Boycott.
I'm 50 years old. One thing I learned about America, and I'm an American, in this country, as a black man, what I say is worse than what a white man does. So what I would like to see happen out of this, not only does he get his job back, it's so much deeper than his job, but he should be able to say what he want to say like everybody else says what they want to say.
Kaepernick is just one part of that issue. We saw from the Bennett pseudo false arrest in Vegas that, doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, you're black, you're black.
For me, white supremacy represents systematic oppression, right? And that's what the NFL is doing right now.
We've seen from a year prior that Colin Kaepernick took his stand and now has been exiled by the NFL, but it seems like this has become bigger than Kaepernick, right? We see so many more players, black and white, who are kneeling or at least talking about racial justice. How much further does this need to go in your eyes?
I think it needs to continue to go. And that's why I start off by saying that I think it's important that we protect the right to be able to speak out against the things that we think are unjust. It's definitely bigger than Colin at this point. At the end of the day, the decision to exile him is a way to shut him up. He didn't do anything that would qualify him for him not to be there. So as the season progresses, our position is the ban is really to say, look guys, no one should be exiled. You can't be quiet. You can't protest in peace. You can't take a kneel. Oh, so what can I do? So, I can't do nothing then. Then why am I in America?
He was just black.
He was just being black. And if being black is a form of protest because I take a knee and that's unacceptable, then that sends the message that no form of protest is ever going to be acceptable. So I should just be quiet and suffer.
What would you say to white consumers and detractors of these protests and even these movements like your NFL ban? What would you say to them and that kind of clientele?
You know what? If I can speak openly to them, my statement would be very clear and concise in saying the time is right. In that the conversation needs to take place where we can be honest on our history, we can be honest on our experience, and we can expect that you would at least consider my experience and weigh in on it. If you think I'm being unreasonable, then you have a right to think I'm being unreasonable. But if you gotta at least be willing to hear the experience. Walk a day and a night in my shoe and say, okay, well, but this is what it feels like to be me. in my color, in my skin, experiencing life. It's not just a black thing. That's the most important part of the content. And that's part of why we wanted to open the floor up, so that you can see the community of members that come here and see the diversity of people from gender to race that are sharing in this band and saying, no, we all agree that there's a moral position here and there's a right that he should be able to engage in.
The beauty of what Colin Kaepernick did is that it really forces the issue. Not just about football, right? But about white supremacy, because it's like put us up at this critical juncture where the line in the sand is so clear, right? Like that either you have to get on one side, or you have to just flat out admit, I ain't messing with it.